Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych Club, the Tom Numbers show. News of Tom Numbers and top of your game, and I have Ian Clark from Activation with me. It's been a few months, Ian. How are you? You're looking ever younger. You always look better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, things are going great. Yeah, happy to be back and excited to talk about what we're going to talk about today. It's the process of, as you are here longer on the earth, you should be getting healthier and healthier because that's the way it's supposed to be. But we're told otherwise, and people believe otherwise, and then they manifest otherwise.
Yeah,
But we are in a totally different paradigm at this time.
yeah. It's exciting, isn't it? Exciting times. I was talking to a good friend today about my thoughts on the near future and how we're going to this wonderful time of prosperity, health, and longevity. And like you just articulated, we've been designed and we're supposed to live long. But if we get told lies, people tend to believe them and then manifest them. So we're reversing the manifestation. So brilliant, excellent. Thank you. I love the products. I use them all the time, particularly. I have the iodine, so I have been drinking it, well, the drops, but I reverted to the spray. I'm finding that's working. I've reached a nice equilibrium with it. And you've always advised to spray the magnesium. And I was taking, you could take it orally, and I was doing that. But then I discovered, and I took your pinpoint advice, Ian, to start doing it on my body. And I've noticed a really big difference doing it that way, because I remember someone saying, and you said it as well, how the skin is a great way to take things through absorption.
Yes.
And I've noticed a really big difference by doing it that way. And the girls have also sent me a wonderful bottle of Ease, which is magnesium, that you can put it in the bath and soak with it, etc. So, and I've also got the activation stick. And I read it. I don't know if you've got it or you take it through. I've got to build up some courage to get to use this, but I got this through just a couple of days ago. So, and there's other things we can talk about. So, but I wanted to say thank you to you and the team for those. And where would you like to start today?
Well, we can start talking about the overall benefits of ease, because the magnesium is such a crucial fuel for the
Yes.
body.
Yeah.
And that's the deep soak that goes in the tub. The one in the spray bottle
Yeah.
goes directly on the skin, and
Should I
it's transdermal.
grab the spray? I can show it. Or have you got one there?
Well, mine's out in the other room, in the restroom.
I'll grab the spray so that people have seen it before, but new people. I'll grab the spray. So that, like you said, that's the soap. And I've got the spray here. Actually, I've got the spray. 2 seconds, Ian.
Yep.
Here it is. I had mine out the back because I sprayed after I get out of the dry down after the shower. But here it is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so that's a transdermal form, and it's the only one in the world of its kind. There's a lot of different spray magnesiums out there, but they're made with very substandard ingredients. And that one took us a year and a half to find 17 years ago. A producer of Europe
Good
who
number,
makes
17.
Yes, yeah. And that's magnesium chloride hexahydrate, which is 6 water molecules attached to every molecule of magnesium chloride. So it's an ocean water extract as well. And so when it doesn't come from the mining operation, which most magnesium chloride comes from, it has a totally different purity, number one. It's completely biocompatible with our energy system inside our body. And when it goes in, It can store in the tissue. Like magnesium sulfate, people use that like Epsom salts for baths, which is helpful, but that form of magnesium does not store in the tissue. So what you do with that, when you build up a bank account, it takes around 3 months of applying it every day,
Uh-huh.
and it literally goes in your tissue and holds as a reserve, and then it gets into your blood as it's needed to fuel. And there's literally they say thousands. I think there's around 330 plus from the studies I've done of biochemical reactions that require magnesium at the core fuel. So they call it a master mineral, and
Okay.
it involves thoughts, brain function,
Yep.
muscle relaxation, smooth joints. It gets like anxiety and depression are caused from magnesium depletion. So when you
Uh,
bring your magnesium levels up, that goes away, but it doesn't cure it. It just is caused by lack of magnesium. So it's, like all these people, oh, you're saying that magnesium cures anxiety and depression. Not a chance. Anxiety and depression show up when you have a lack of magnesium. And there's not enough magnesium in the food anymore in the proper form. And there hasn't been for, probably millennia now, because it washes away from the rain all the time. So it's just a matter of just adding it in. And it doesn't need to go through your digestive tract either,
yeah.
because, it doesn't tax your kidneys. There's no stress in the body whatsoever. It actually removes stress every time you apply it on. So it's a daily must-have, because
Yeah.
men require it because we use our stress systems quite a bit. Women need it even more because they are going through the hormonal changes. So it ties into the endocrine system, as well as when women are losing menstrual fluid, they're losing a lot of minerals. So
Right.
women significantly benefit from this particular product. In fact, it's our most sold product now, with the biggest rave reviews across the board.
Yeah. I mean, I've been using it since I started with yourself, but like I'd been taking it just into, orally, and that was fine.
Mhm.
But as you'd said in the beginning, the best way was just to do it topically on the skin, and I noticed a big difference doing that. And I noticed when I maybe if I miss a day or something, I might notice it. But I doing this has really helped personally me just with stiffness, less stiffness in the body, in the joints and in the muscles. Um, and so I was really pleased when the girls sent me some more because I was running out. So this is near the end. This one, but I've got the other one that you sent. So it's really yeah, it's amazing. Um, what so this part you said about how it stores. How long does it? How long once you're topped up? You said maybe it takes was it a year or so of doing it. Once you're topped up, how long would kind of magnesium stay in the system before it started to deplete and get to a point where you had to top up again?
Well, it takes everyone average about 3 months to build up the bank account to where you have the
Sorry, was it
reserve
three
enough.
months? You said okay. Sorry, 3 months.
Yep.
3 months. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and then you just keep using it. Like once you top it up,
Yeah.
what I've done personally is I'll do 70 sprays twice a day and build the bank account up, and then you keep it. Then you just do 30 sprays a day from then on, right before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so when you do it twice a day, it's when you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed at night. Just make sure you don't wash it off afterwards.
Uh-huh.
It's really good after a bath or a shower as well. And plus, you can put the deep soak in your bath.
Yes.
The one thing that's really important about the deep soak is when you have a bath, if you put the temperature above, like say, above 39 degrees centigrade or
Yeah.
102 degrees, 103 degrees Fahrenheit, that makes your body release. So you're going to be outputting from your body, not absorbing. So you want to have the water just above body temperature where it's comfortable, but it's not hot. You
Okay.
want it warm, and then you can absorb. Then your body's just absorbing it all, because you want to absorb as much as possible. Now, if you get in the bath and it's hot to start with, then you just stay in there long enough until you cool down,
And then add
and then
it.
you let go. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So you say 39 degrees is anything above that, then it starts to expel, the body starts to expel, yeah?
that's right. Yeah,
Okay. So it's quite close. It's only a really, what is it, body temperature is 37 point something, is it? Is that right?
Yeah, 37 is the normal body temperature.
Okay.
Some people have a lower temperature than that, which is not healthy
Yeah.
because that dynamically affects the metabolism
Okay.
and the detox pathways. Usually that's indication of fungal problems like fungal infections
Yes.
is common. And liver, gallbladder problems showing low body temperature is really not good. And that's where people put weight on and their metabolism goes way off and they just feel bad. They lose their energy and that kind of thing.
And that's just a core low body temperature.
Yep.
Wow. Would it make any difference if you had it in? A lot of people, I mean, when I shower, I'll do warm and then I'll end with cold. And sometimes I'll take a cold plunge, like a cold bath. If people had
Right.
a cold bath or just one that's not even got any warm, it's just cold or just is it? I guess my question is, as long as it's below body temperature, and even if it's cold, would it make any difference to the absorption into the skin if the temperature was particularly cool?
Yeah, if it's cold, you'll absorb very little because your pores are all tightening up,
Okay,
and your hair because it comes in through your hair follicles as well, and that tightens up.
okay, that
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
this is that sweet spot right between body temperature and warm.
Okay,
So you really feel the warmth.
okay. I might need to get a thermometer then for the bath.
Yeah, you don't like I've used thermometers in the past just to make sure, but then what I realize is that if it's at body temperature, it's sort of neutral. You don't really feel much.
Yeah.
And then above body temperature, it's getting warm, where it's really comfortable. And you can tell when it gets hot because, I mean, just a few degrees is quite sensitive to your skin.
Okay.
The outside skin temperature is usually running around 95. Have you ever gone into a flotation tank?
Don't think I have. No. No.
Yeah, so it's sensory deprivation is extremely beneficial.
Yeah.
And what they do with that is you're floating in space
Yeah.
and the air inside the chamber is the same as your body temperature, 95, 96 degrees. And then the water is exactly at body temperature, 98.6. And it's so full of magnesium sulfate that you're buoyant. So half of your body's out of the water, half of it's in the water. They have like 800 pounds of magnesium sulfate in the tank that's
Wow.
dissolved in the water. And then it's totally dark. It's complete sensory deprivation. What it does, it allows your brain to have a vacation because it's no longer monitoring any bodily functions other than your organs because you're floating. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing experience. I recommend it highly to everyone. And they could use magnesium chloride hexahydrate in the solution as well, but you see the magnesium sulfate as the most common because it's very, very inexpensive to
Right.
use. And so they replace the fluid. It would become quite costly if they were
Right.
using the material that we use. But still, it's very affordable to put on your skin. But anyway, the whole flotation tank is remarkable. I highly recommend it to people if you can find a float
Yeah.
spa.
I've heard of it. I'm aware of it. So now you've described it like that, I'm like, okay, I like the sound of that. I'll give that a go. I'll look for one. So would any of the magnesium sulfate, it's a lower grade of magnesium, would it get in at all or not really?
Well, if it was magnesium sulfate, it goes and relaxes your muscles, but then it doesn't hold. As
Okay.
soon as you're out, you're back to normal, whereas this one holds because
Okay.
you're building up a bank account. Yeah. And you're using it every time you use your brain a lot,
Yeah.
or if you're doing heavy physical activity or you're under stress, you're definitely going to be burning the magnesium as a fuel. And that's
Oh,
why people get deficient. Yeah. And
yeah.
it really causes a lot of problems.
Is the constituency of or the makeup of the ease spray, is it identical to the soak? Is soak just a larger volume of the spray, or are they slightly different in composition?
Yeah, the soak is a little bit stronger, but it's
Okay.
it's very, very close. But it's designed for the bath. It's really like, yeah, but
Okay.
we put it through the process. And the spray bottles that's approximately a 1 month supply if you're dosing it pretty good.
Okay.
The one spray bottle. Yeah.
So I guess for
And the
me,
other one,
if I ever run out again and I've got some of the soak, could I top up in the bottle and be okay?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
And would that be like maybe one at a time, 1.5 times higher or 1.2, or like the concentration ratio?
I don't have the ratios, but you'd be fine. It'd be a little bit stronger, but that I wouldn't worry about it. It'll still work just fine. It might
Okay.
be a little bit of a different feel on your skin, that's all.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, the one thing that's very different, Tom, just to mention on the ease versus anything else in the market,
mm,
all the other stuff in the market is very uncomfortable when it goes on the skin. It's very itchy, very irritating. It can burn, and then they're told to rub it in and then wash it off. And it's like, no, no, no. You just, when you have the pure form of it, it goes on super comfortably. If you
yeah.
have a little bit of dry skin, it might tingle in that area if you have dry skin, but then in a few days it'll stop tingling because it's a moisturizer, because
Okay.
it allows your skin to hold moisture, and it's very comfortable. You don't have to rub it in. When you put it on your skin, just wipe it down. I spray it on, and quite often to get the back of the legs, I'll just spray it in my hand, 5 sprays, and then just wipe it on the back of my legs. So it's, because otherwise you got to reach around. It's really weird to spray that on back there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'll stop spraying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good, you've read my mind. I was going to ask how to apply it and where. So you're applying it pretty much all over your skin.
Yeah, that's right. You stay away from the genitals, stay away from the sensitive areas, and then all your skin just loves it, you know.
Would you
And
spray under the arms?
you don't have to now. I mean, what you do with that is I just go down from the armpits down,
Okay.
right? Because the armpit hair, even if a woman has shaved her armpits,
Yeah.
that skin is very sensitive.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't need to put it there because it's going to go in very rapidly. It's going to go into your body in 90 seconds through all your billions of little hair follicles
Okay.
that are on your body. They're microscopic hair follicles. Look like little peach fuzz if you can see them under a microscope, but
Right.
it goes in through them and it's very efficient. You want to get it all the way down to the bottom of your legs because people who have restless leg syndrome, it takes it away completely. It just goes
Okay.
away because that's all based upon magnesium deficiency, which causes the muscles to contract because calcium is what contracts the muscles. And people get overcalcified and they get plantar fasciitis, they get leg cramps, they get restless leg syndrome. It's all based on that.
Right. And so I do. I was wondering about the underarms because it's like you say, it's a sensitive area, and I thought maybe it absorbs quicker. But what you've just said makes sense. Um, do you do what? Can you take us through the kind of you've just talked about sometimes how you spray like a kind of cloud and then walk into it. Is that just for the face or for the main body?
Oh, like for eyes, I've done it many times where if I want to really clear my eyes up, I just hold it away from me. I look straight into the sprayer, but it's coming out. By the time it gets to here, it's a mist. And
Okay.
then the mist just rolls into the eyes. That way you don't have to blink your eyes. But people usually always blink their eyes reaction. So you got to control your eyelids, just keep them open and let the mist come into your eyes and it'll sting a little bit and then it'll just bring big relief to your eyes. It's such a rejuvenating thing.
Okay.
And same with the mouth. I mean, you can spray it on your teeth. I tend to spray it and then swish it and then just spit it out
Okay.
because it's going to absorb in a lot anyway. But it's good for the enamel. Enamel loves magnesium.
Okay. All right. Well, I will continue to still sometimes spray in the mouth as well then. Okay. And
Yep.
do you? So maybe I'm not. So I notice when I spray, so I'll quite often start with the arms. I'll do the top and under, and then I kind of wipe it in, and then I'll do the legs and the chest and the back. Um, so really, just kind of get head to toe as much as we can. And is it okay
Yep.
just to rub on that? Like if it runs slightly, just rub it with the hands, and then or should I spray
Oh,
it
yeah.
further back or?
Yep. Yeah, you just smooth it on. So it's kind of even coverage everywhere, and then it goes in. Usually within about 90 seconds, you're going to see it disappear.
Okay, excellent. Well, it definitely works because since I've been doing it on the skin, I've really noticed a big difference. One thing I saw about someone I saw online was talking, not in necessarily for magnesium, but just saying the soles of the feet are very absorbent. So I
Yep.
was like, before I go to bed, I'll spray it on the soles of my feet as well. That's something
Hmm.
I've been doing. It seems to work, but brilliant. Yeah. Tell us about you've got a launch coming up.
Yeah, so the launch is the reason we do launches is to get people to become more educated about different things. It's basically a protection for your body. bundle of products that, because you want to protect yourself from all your external contaminations coming into the air and whatever is built up in your life, and get it out of the body, and then protect the body from damage that can be caused from these different pollutants. And so the bundle is the perfect iodine, the perfect immune, and the Solaris. So the Solaris is, like these are combinations. You don't take them at the same time. You take them at separate times. But you do the perfect iodine on an empty stomach, and then wait 20 minutes and take the Solaris. And that's, middle of the day. People can do it early in the morning if they want, but I tend to go more towards the middle of the day because people want to have something to eat in the morning right away, which is very good, actually. And then the perfect immune you can take anytime, just not with the iodine and the Solaris. The perfect immune is just in a dropper. And what I do with that is I just shake the bottle, take the dropper out, and pour a little bit into my glass and drink it. I don't even really measure it. It's very simple to do. That way I'm not monkeying around with the little pipette. But you can use the pipette as so many drops that you put into a glass of water.
Yeah.
And that's all about getting the garbage out of the system and then protecting your system from damage or getting infections, because your mucous membranes are tied into your immune system. And your body produces about 1.5 liters of mucus per day. Most of it's recirculated, some of it comes out. But that mucous membrane, which is internal and external, because you can sense them in the sinuses, of course, in the mouth and the eyes, and then also genitals for a woman. So that keeps those mucous membranes clear so that they don't get plugged up and gunky and kind of like the gunk that builds up in the mucous membranes is what plugs you up and gets blocked. And then it doesn't flow properly. That's where people get ill. And internally, it's a big deal, like inside your lungs, your bronchioles, throughout your digestive tract, it's a big deal. So you just want to keep everything nice and smooth and clean and clear. And the perfect immune just functions at that level all day long. So it helps you 24 hours a day. And it's something you can use your whole life. It just keeps everything nice and flowing. And even when people get congested, where they're sick, with the flu or a cold or something like that, people have used it very successfully to reduce that time significantly by, getting that stuff cleared out of the system way faster.
Very good. And that's there's a promotion on that. It's the 29th, 30th, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it starts on the September 29th. It's taken us a long time to pull together all the information. And so people can educate themselves on the page, and we'll make sure you get a link for that.
Yeah.
So when it does open up. And we've got another little thing called 30-second fixes.
That was it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of information there that people are quite familiar with, and there's other things that are added in. I've shared a whole bunch of other information that's tapped into that to really give the person the why. Like, why are you going to invest time in your health? Why are you going to invest energy? Why are you going to invest in effort? And why would you invest money into your body as well? Like, you've got to make sure you know the why, because if you don't have the why, then it's just another thing. You're just adding things, and it gets very expensive for people to do that if they don't know why they're doing it. And or they purchase something from somebody and then they don't utilize it properly. They don't use it at all quite often.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the shelf in the house that has all the health stuff that you feel good about buying, but haven't used because you're not really sure exactly why, or you can't remember why you bought it.
Yeah.
So it's really important to use your resources very wisely and carefully, especially in this age that we're living in.
Yes. And that's called, and what's that one, Ian, the 30-second?
Yeah, 30-second fix.
Okay. And that's another, is that an information
Yeah,
pack,
that's just a bunch of free information. The information that people can use like a little library, and they can go in. And I've done some short videos on each one, like for gut health, brain health, metabolism, and then cellular function are the 4 main topics, because that basically covers your whole body as far as like the cellular, because your body's made up of trillions of cells. So it's a matter of having all those running at the highest level, cleanest possible. And that way you're getting younger as you get older. And I've got a podcast coming out in November called Younger Than Yesterday. And it's going to be all involved in all the top level things that we've curated over the years to share with people. So again, they're using their time, energy, and effort wisely. And there's no cost involved in the podcast, obviously, but you're spending time.
Yeah.
Time, energy, and effort is far more valuable than money. People
Yeah.
used to say time is money. No, it's not. It's 10 times more valuable.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
Well, everyone's got 24 hours, haven't they? And people use it in different ways and produce different amounts of money. So, yeah. So, you've spoken about this before on other shows. We've never really spoken about it. And the team have kindly sent me the activator. Now, I haven't. I'm gonna develop some courage using this, and I've got to decide where to. So maybe I'll be able to give you some feedback on our next show. But would you like to just take people through this, what the activator is? And I don't know if you've got one there and you want to do it, but it looks fun. So take us through the activator.
Yeah, so the activator, I have one that I have in my room over here, but I don't really need to have it here. I've got a little video that I did on how to use it that I can
That's
share
what I've
with you.
seen. I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
And I did this just recently. I've done many of those videos, but I've just done it recently when I was down in Dallas at Healing for the Ages. That was an event done by Dr. Brian Artis and Dr. Ed Group. And it was, a really great little gathering. So people were asking me about it. The one thing with the activator right now is totally sold out. I have a very large shipment coming in, and it's taking a while to get in. But
So it's
I
pretty
mentioned
popular.
yeah. Oh, I mentioned it on one episode with Sayerji, and it sold out like within a week. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. But that if I was only allowed to have one thing for my health, and I was only allowed to choose that, I would choose that particular thing right there.
Really?
Because
Over and
yeah,
above magnesium and over and above iodine.
well, I wouldn't be, if I couldn't have anything except for one thing, that would be the activator because it
Really?
does so many things. Oh yeah, functionally, mechanically, dynamically, all the joints, all your connective tissue, all your fascia, it does so many things because it taps into the organ function first of all. So the very first thing you do with that is this little soft area on the inside of the elbow where the creases are, where you bend your arm.
Yeah.
That area, that's where you use that as a stimulator because this is classical Chinese medicine. So classical Chinese medicine predates all traditional Chinese medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine is acupuncture, tongue diagnosis, pulse, herbal prescriptions,
Yeah.
and it requires a significant amount of experience. An Oriental medical doctor has got to do years and years of training, and they've got to be able to diagnose you properly and then prescribe properly. And so that's a very more of a modern thing. Classical Chinese medicine, as it turns out, predates that a lot, like thousands of years. And it does not require a doctor, it does not require acupuncture, it does not require herbal remedies, does not require diagnosis. And that tool simultaneously releases everything that's in your body that shouldn't be there and also stimulates the body's ability to heal itself.
Wow.
Because using that, it doesn't heal anything. Using that stimulates the body's innate ability to repair itself. So it's a
Sorry, say that
percussion.
sorry, two sentences ago, you said such and such doesn't repair it, doesn't do anything, and then you said using this does. What was the line you said before doing
I'll
such?
say, so the activator doesn't heal anything.
Okay.
The activator is a stimulant to to get
The
the
body
body's
thing.
innate ability to heal itself
Okay.
activated. It just activates the body. That's all it's going to do. That's why it's called the activator.
And
And
why does the body, is it environment, but why does the body not heal itself to this level without something like an activator?
well, what happens when you're young?
Mm-hmm.
Your body has all the bone marrow is dark red. So
Right.
by the time you're 20, you got beautiful bone marrow, dark red throughout your whole system. That bone marrow produces blood
Yeah.
and it produces stem cells. So stem cells are what heal the body quickly
Yes.
because when you produce massive amounts of stem cells, it'll go and repair the knee or the shoulder or the injury. It'll keep the organs rejuvenated. Now, athletes, for example, professional athletes in their 20s, they get injured, they heal a lot faster than a professional athlete in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
Usually by the time a pro athlete's in their 40s, they're retired.
Yes.
And so that's because They don't know how to support the bone marrow to stay dark red, number one.
Ah,
Number two, they are producing less and less and less stem cells as a result, and less clean, fresh blood as a result. So the body begins to get contaminated and fill up. So regardless of how old you are, you still have a certain amount of dark red bone marrow in your body. So even a person in their 80s will have dark bone marrow in their pelvis, for example, or their thigh bones. They'll still have some in there.
mm,
And so what that tool does is it calls to action to the brain, hey, we got a trauma site over here. We need help.
hmm.
And so if a knee is bad, for example, you use that to tear down the structure of the knee, and it doesn't, you can't injure yourself with this. No one's ever died from doing this or been injured from this. You can't, it's not possible because you're just stimulating through percussion, frequency, and vibration using that little hand, and you
Okay,
put it
Ian,
on
let's
one
let's
place.
should we do it? Should we do it on the end of the elbow?
Yeah, you mean like grab one and physically do it?
Well, yeah, shall we? I've got my activator. You're telling me the benefits of it. Shall we do it now?
Yeah, you could do it. You just have to take your
I'll take my
your uh,
my sweat
your
my
hoodie off.
hoodie off, and
Yep.
so this is okay. Left arm, is
So
that
it's
okay to do?
yep, that soft part right there. And what you do is you need to have a flat surface with the hand coming flat on the arm,
There's a slight
and
groove on one side and then circular discs on the other. Which way should I do? This way or this way?
the smooth side is always against the skin. The rough side is always away from the skin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
those little bumps. You never put the little bumps against the skin. So what you do is you're trying to get the hand to go through your arm. So
Okay.
you're like it's like kind of a whipping action. You're making the hand do the work. So that metal rod is going to make that slap on your arm, and you want to make that do work. You want your arm to stop it, not you to stop it. And so you do it, quickly like that to start with. And if you're doing it correctly, you'll hear quite a sound. Now, your microphone is not going to pick up that sound because it has the noise blocking on it.
Yeah.
So there's no sound coming through. But it should heat up right away, and it should start to sting,
Yeah.
and then it'll start to actually change color. And it will change color when you're doing it right. But you tuck your arm down by your side, and you get it going so that it's quite significant. You could use your hand if you don't have an activator. It takes twice as long with your hand to do it, and you usually have to do 2 or 3 treatments with your hands. With that, when you do it right, one treatment and it gets it done. So what you're doing when you're stimulating in the inside of the elbow is you are activating the heart and the lungs through acupuncture points to release all the garbage that's in them. And it is a profoundly effective thing. Like with some people, I've shown them how to do a treatment, and they'll start sweating right away,
Mm.
and they'll feel nausea sometimes, or they'll feel lightheaded and yet they're not doing anything. They're not exercising. They're not moving around. They're just standing there getting this stimulation treatment, and they can't figure out why they're feeling that just from slapping the inside of the elbow. So yeah. So now if you lift your arm up a little bit higher, okay, now yeah, you got to do it a little bit sharper, but you're getting a little bit out. Yeah, just try it right there when you're holding your arm up. In the view of the camera, yeah. Okay, now you got to put the hand through the arm. You're stopping the hand before it gets through the arm. Yeah, you got to really, like you got to whack it, and it's going to hurt.
It is hurting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the only reason it's hurting, slapping does not cause the pain at all. What causes the pain is inside of you. Right.
Okay.
So you're going to, yeah, that whacking is the way to do it. Like the real profound whack where you're trying to get it through the arm. You're making the arm stop it. No holdbacks, no pulling punches. It just goes right through. And it should light right up. It should literally
Yeah, it's
swell
getting
up a little bit.
darker now.
Yeah, you get a little bit, but yeah, it's starting to get some stuff out. That's right. You're doing it right. And it should turn very, very dark, the whole thing. But you do it for 5 minutes, and it's always on exactly the same place as accurately as you can do it. And that is a big, massive release for your internal, both your heart and your lungs on that particular area is all that's being affected. But your heart and your lungs do the most work. You breathe 11,000 liters a day. You're pumping 7,200 liters of blood a day. That's moving all the energy through your system, delivering all the nutrients, carrying out all the waste.
Yeah, it's like the bruise now, isn't
right.
it?
Exactly. Now that's not a bruise because that'll go away very shortly. Like within an hour, that'll dissipate completely. But you're doing it right. Like you want to, because you've got a good size arm, you're going to probably have to do 2 treatments because you're getting the outside, and then later on you do the inside. You wait a week or so, and then you do the inside of that where it's more tightened up. But yeah, that's exactly how you do it. And then, yep, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. So you can, yeah, and you can go right at it. Like it should turn very dark in the whole entire area once you're done. And you go for 5 minutes. You just set your timer on your phone, go for 5 minutes. People go, 5 minutes is a long time. It's a very short time actually. But it seems long when you're doing the treatment. And always remember the treatment does not cause pain. It does not cause stinging. It does not cause burning or bruising or swelling, except for the fact that it will sting, burn, bruise, and swell when you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, but it doesn't cause that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it out. This is releasing your heart and your lungs. Now, after you do a thorough treatment, you go back and do it a week later, a month later, a year later, you're going to get nothing out. It's going to be nothing. It's just going to be no pain, no swelling, no stinging, no burning, no nothing. That's the proof, because I can do most of my body right now, because I've done very large parts of my body.
Yeah.
I can slap as hard as I want, even for an hour, and nothing is going to come out, and there's no pain or swelling, because that area is cleared permanently. And
Wow.
when you think about your body you're living in right now, it started out in the womb of your mother, and she built your body, and she filled your body with all her garbage that she had in her body that she had no choice about at the time, because she didn't know about this. And so the mother is always going to, yeah, that's yeah, you're coming along pretty good. So mothers always put all of their foreign substance into the baby's body because they're full of it themselves.
Yeah.
And so then you're breathing and you're eating and you're drinking throughout your life, which is absorbing even more of that stuff. So the older you are, the more stuff comes out. The older you are, the more painful the treatment is felt, but the more profound the results. So it's not about worrying about pain. This is the good kind of pain. Yep. Yeah, you're getting more out for sure.
When you say
And when
this affects the heart and the lungs, so you can identify a place on the body to do the treatment, and then it will, because it's circulating, it will affect everything,
that's right. Well,
particularly the lungs and the heart.
that's the direct communication to the heart and the lungs right on this part here. Over here is liver, gallbladder, spleen, and large intestine. The back of the knees, that soft part of the back of the knees, that's pancreas and kidneys. So the top of the hands and the top of the feet, that's your stomach and your small intestine. And that pretty much covers the whole gamut of the organs.
So you wouldn't do it, you'd only do it in certain areas, you wouldn't do the whole body, you just do it on the top of the hands and feet, on the creases of the elbows and the knees, and that would be it, or you would do it on your back and everywhere else.
Well, you do the organs first and you get that cleared. Once you clear all your organs, then you go through and do the entire body, because every single speck of your body is communicating with every speck of your body.
Yeah.
For fixing joints, you can totally repair your joints profoundly, so that even if you have severely compromised joints like knees and hips, shoulders, elbows, whatever, you go through everything and you do every area. Like right now, the organs are the inside of the elbow, but eventually you're going to do the outside all the way around, and your whole arm right to your wrist, whole arm right to the shoulders, all the shoulders. It takes months to get it done. You just do 2 places per day, and you keep working it. But if you're not getting stuff out, you're not doing it right. That's just the bottom line. Every single speck of your body is going to be full of all this debris. It's basically dead blood and dead cells that have been trapped forever, and plus nano razor blades that you've been breathing from the tire dust and the brake dust and those kind of things. And then also stimulating stem cells to the brain that will produce specific stem cells for that area in your knee, for example. So it's a profound device to use to get your body to heal itself. Like it'll literally get your body to stimulate and repair cartilage. But
Really?
the tool itself, right? So if the tool was doing the healing, then it would constantly do it the whole time you're doing it. The tool doesn't do the healing. The tool stimulates the body to heal itself, because your body's ability to heal itself but your body cannot get to that area of a knee and heal itself without stimulation because it's all plugged up. All the dead blood and the dead cells
Right.
over the years from injuries are in the way.
So we're going
You got to
in, breaking the system, getting into it. So
get,
you say about cartilage, could you repair or strengthen ligaments, things like that in the body?
100%, because your body will do it because it can't get access to get the material to that ligament. The ligament's trying to heal itself, right? And so, but it can't because it can't get the nutrients to it. It can't get the energy to it because everything's blocked.
Okay.
I don't ever use any disease names because disease is simply blockage. In
Yes.
classical Chinese medicine, they just tell you your body is blocked up. Get the blockages out. That's what you got to do.
Right.
And this is the most effective way to get the blockages out. And if you're a person who says, well, I'm not interested in having any pain whatsoever, and this is causing me pain, why would I cause myself pain? Well, I would never suggest somebody to cause pain to themselves if that's all it was. What's the value in that? Zero. But when I saw over and over hundreds and hundreds of times where I show people and help them and their bodies radically healed themselves just from using the activator, that's why I told you it's number one. But people can hear that and they go, this guy sounds like he's a whack job. Who's going to slap your body? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard,
Yeah.
especially if you're injured. But it's the principle of tearing the building down, letting the body rebuild a new building. Don't
Yeah.
try to renovate the building. Tear it down, the body will rebuild right back there immediately. And it's
Wow.
fast. Like my left knee, for example, I had injured it when I was 21. I worked in an oil rig. And on oil rigs, on the location where they have the well that you're working on, they have these 800-pound firewalls that sit between the blow-up preventer and you if there's an emergency to protect any fire that maybe the well would light on fire. And so it's a protective wall. They weigh 800 pounds. I had one that was folded up that fell off a building on top of me. And when it started coming at me, I thought I could push it back on the building because I thought, why is it coming off the building? But it had released off the building with the attachment that was holding it on. When I went to push it back up, thinking it was just a big steel panel, no, I couldn't even slow it down. 800 pounds, I couldn't even slow it down. I realized, oh, that thing's coming on top of me fast. So I ran away to get away from it, but my left leg got caught and it came down on the seam of the outside knee and did significant damage. It crushed my knee really hard. There was about 8 or 9 inches of ice and snow on the ground where we were working in northern British Columbia at the time. Thankfully, that was there because that cushioned somewhat of the blow, but it destroyed my knee. It was so bad. It took months to be able to walk and run. And then from then on, I couldn't water ski or snow ski. I couldn't have anything at all that would twist my knee or would blow up like a basketball. And I had everything checked from front to back. There was nothing broken. It was just crushed and torn. And so even when they did CT scans, it's like they can't see anything that they could do to help me. But as I got older in my 30s and 40s, the pain went through the roof. It was just this deep aching pain where I couldn't sit in an auditorium or a theater with my knee bent more than 20 minutes or pain was through the roof and forget it. So when I found out about this when I was 60, I did all my organs first because that's all I knew to start with. And then I found out about this tool and it was a different form than this one. This is a much better tool than what I had to start with. But the original tool actually worked really well too. But I thought, I'd like to try it on my knee. So I did 8 different 5-minute treatments to my knee and they were, significant treatments.
Yeah.
Where, it lit right up and it swelled up and all that kind of stuff. And then the last treatment was on the inside of my knee, on the top kind of inside, right? And it blew right up. It swelled up, it turned dark purple. It hurt like the dickens doing the treatments. And the treatments were always the same. This one was way more painful than any other treatment. And I couldn't believe the color. I could show you some pictures of what my knee looked like. We should be able to see it on the screen. It'll just take me a second to pull it up. But the stuff that came out of my knee, which started out looking like a normal knee, you could never tell that I had anything wrong with my knees, the visibility of it. But after the treatment, it had quite the appearance. Just let me pull this up here. That's what my knee looked like after the 5-minute treatment. You see that?
Wow.
And so that came out, and then well, it was a very short period of time. Within 30 minutes, it had already drained that much in 30 minutes. And then in 6 hours, it was down to pink. That was 6 hours later. It took a whole week for the color to dissipate all the way up to my hip, all the way down to my ankle. And then in 1 week, my knee was completely healed. And
Wow.
the body just simply repaired it because finally had access, got all the junk out of the way. And when I saw that happen, I was like, I couldn't believe it. That was the first time I ever saw a joint heal, was my own knee. And because I looked online and I saw some different treatments that they talk about. And so then I was 100% convinced. I was like, then I just started showing everybody. That was in April of 2018 when I
Wow.
first experienced that. So yeah, powerful stuff. And then I went through shoulders, hips, ankles, all, like my other knee. You get all the stuff out. And when it's out, I'm like a young kid running around, like a 25-year-old young man, and I'm just turned 66. So
Wow.
this is not child's play. This is very full adult type of treatment. Children wouldn't be able to handle it. They wouldn't understand. They think you're doing something to them that you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But as an adult, and it's self-care is the thing. You're doing the treatment yourself as much as you can.
Yeah.
Areas you can't reach easily, you get somebody to help you with. But you have to teach them, and they got
Yeah.
to get in that snappy thing to get going to start with, and then build it up. And after you get about 2 minutes in, it becomes numb, and then you profoundly get after it. You build it up because your tolerance is way higher at that point.
Yeah.
The last 2 minutes of that 5 minutes, you really get after it, like really go. So it's yeah, it's cool.
Is there any part of the body that you wouldn't use it on, or is it free reign?
You can go anywhere with that in the body. If you go into a bony area, like say the outside of the ankle, where you got all those bones there,
Yeah.
that's where you use your hand, not the activator, because the activator is too harsh on a bone right under the skin.
Okay.
And so you want to have flesh. Any flesh area, you can use the activator very well. And literally, people say genitals, yes. Yeah, everywhere. All like from the back of the neck all the way down. On the face, nothing comes
on
up.
the top of the head, or not?
Yep. Yeah, but not with the activator. With the top of the head, you use your hands.
Right.
People have reversed Alzheimer's by simply stimulating the top of the skull, which puts a percussion frequency and vibration to jar loose all the stuff that plugged all the nutrients from getting to the brain. And the reason it reverses Alzheimer's and dementia is because it's allowing the brain now to get all the things that it was missing for all those years. And it gets
Wow.
all the heavy metals moving around and getting them out. But that takes a long time. I heard a gentleman in India, his wife did it for 2 months, and she would do it 30 minutes a day on the top of the head, and just going at it and just getting everything jarred up.
Would it
And
get
just that,
bruised or not? Not so much.
no, nothing. There's no marks, no swelling, no nothing that comes on the top of the head. A lot of women will use their hand. They wouldn't use the activator. They use their hand and they go at it and and men can do it too. It's a useful thing that you do for your face where it draws collagen, it draws hydration, it draws blood, and it helps to keep the skin extremely youthful. Like if a woman really wants to look young and stay looking young for a really long time, they'll do that. And you do every area. You can do between the eyes, you can do you don't do on the eyes. You can cup around the eyes, but you don't slap the eye, obviously.
Yeah.
But all the way down here, and what it does is it brings all the energy pathways back and it draws the face back up to a normal looking youthful, lines, like the jaw lines and all
Wow.
that stuff will pull itself back up. Even at an older age, a woman can do this and see remarkable results. So it's the biggest skincare thing for, avoiding any cosmetic surgery. And it'll sting. You will not bruise your face. It will not have any marks whatsoever. It will not swell up. And it's interesting how the face doesn't have any expression like that. But you can feel it. I mean, if a woman's doing it, they're slapping it. It's going to sting for sure. But
Yeah.
then after a couple of minutes, it's not doing it anymore. And another thing, Tom, for young women who are planning to have a baby, they would spend 6 months going through their entire body, top to bottom, every speck of their body, there is all the stuff gets removed. They do 2 areas a day, and you always mirror it. So if you do it here on this shoulder,
Yeah.
you do it there the same day. You're always mirroring, and you're tracking it. So you don't do the same place twice because you're wasting your time.
Right.
And you can keep going 2 places a day. Just never do the same area again until it's completely drained. Because maybe you have a severe torn rotator cuff.
Yeah.
You want to get in there on that with the activator. You're going to do that, and then that's going to get a whole bunch of stuff out. You might go in a week later, get a little bit more, depending on how hard you went. But if you do it profoundly, you'll get nothing else again in that area. But when they do that, they get all the stuff out of their body. Then the baby gets a totally fresh body. They don't have any of that debris from the mother whatsoever. There's been reports of flawless pregnancies and almost painless deliveries.
Wow.
Because all the stuff is out. So people can say whatever they want about this, but until you've actually done it, you can't know. And once you do it, it's like a revelation. It's like this, how come everybody doesn't know about this? Everybody in nurse should know about this. Everybody should be doing this every day until their body's completely clear. And it's clear for life. It's not like you have to go back and keep redoing the same area. Can you imagine? No, you just do it.
Once it's out, it's out.
It's out, done. And it goes out through your blood, like through your microcirculation and lymphatic. Sometimes a little bit will come out of the skin, which is very unusual, but it does happen. I've seen it happen.
What, like a little bit of lymph fluid or a little bit of blood seeping out?
Right. Yeah. Just a seepage. It's sort of like a. It's only seepage. It doesn't pour.
So if I was to really go hardcore on this, and it felt like it was going to pop or bleed, it would maybe at the most just have a little bit of seepage. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to really go hard to make it seep, though. I mean, it's and there's no.
But it wouldn't cut.
Real
It wouldn't cut like blood.
No. But I've seen it where it's had seepage if the person has got a really significant injury, especially on the shoulder or something like that.
Okay.
You get a little bit of seepage, but then that stops right away. You just wipe it off and it's gone. The one thing I've seen is a lot of white powder come out of some people. Not often.
Powder.
But when you see white powder, and there's no evidence of any powder in their skin at all when you start.
What's that?
And then as you're doing it, heavy metals.
Wow.
Like super toxicity.
Wow. What about scar tissue? Will this get rid of scar tissue?
Well, the body will because I mean, it really works well in scar tissue, but the body has to heal it. And if you have a keloid scar or something that's really built up, it's got to break it up. And so the percussion frequency and vibration actually does break it up.
Okay.
And allows the body to clear it out. Yeah, it's profoundly effective on scar tissue.
Okay, so if it repairs properly, it will repair the body properly, and then the scar tissue will get taken out over time with everything else.
Yeah, the body just building back to the original blueprint, because the body has a memory of exactly how you were originally.
Yeah.
And it's trying to get back to that all the time.
Okay.
But you just need to support it. That's it.
You talked about ankles and you talked about how joints and things can repair. So mine's getting stronger, but I had a football injury that caused me a lot of grief, a soccer injury for a long time. And so my ankle is slightly loose, I would say. It's getting stronger because of the things I'm doing and the palooka foot, where the flat, like the flat, it's not flat feet, but it's like walking barefoot as much as possible. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff and I'm getting stronger at it. But as you're describing what you're saying with the activator, I'm thinking, I wonder if it could heal and tighten up the ligaments that got loose out of being unbalanced for a long period of time, years, decades of walking incorrectly. So the gaits, and I'm just wondering if that will activate the original blueprint and get it really firmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, you're going to see an immediate response, especially in the ankles, because the ankles that's where all the force of the entire body is sitting on.
Yeah.
The next one was the knees, the next one up was the hips.
Yeah.
The ankles are delicate,
yes,
fragile, but yet they're very strong. And so anything that's loosening up around that, you can tighten it up immediately. That you've got to stimulate the body to really correct that as soon as possible. Because if you, like I had a guy who, he was about 30 years old, and he twisted his ankle so severely in the gym when he was doing weight training, because his foot got off and he had all this weight, and it absolutely tore this thing to shreds. I mean, it was so bad.
Wow.
And he was on crutches. It was that bad. And the doctor told him, look, you can't touch anything for like a couple of months, a minimum, and let's see how it's going because it was that big of a tear.
Yeah.
And so he didn't call me. I told him, I knew him, I know him and his dad because they
Yeah.
own the dealership in town. And I said, you know, anytime you guys ever have anything go on with your health, just call me and I'll be able to give you some advice because I've learned so much. And he didn't call me. And so this is 4 days into the injury. Now all the secondary inflammation has swelled up and caused more damage. It's just a mess. And I just happened to be in the dealership because I had bought a vehicle there before, and then I was just back there talking to one of the sales guys. And I see Rory walking around with crutches. And I went over and I said, hey, what's going on? He told me what happened. I go, Rory, like you didn't call me. Well, you know, I didn't want to bother you. I go, no, this is a serious injury, man.
Oh,
Well, come over to our studio today. Do you have time today? I said, I'm going to be back there at 5 o'clock. If you come over to the studio, I will show you the exact way to fix that right away. And he goes, well, that was that thing you were talking about where you're like slapping the skin. I go, exactly that. Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Like it's a fresh injury. I'm not really comfortable with that. I said, well, all you got to do is come over. I'm totally comfortable with it. I've seen this over and over again. I've seen fresh injuries, old injuries, doesn't matter. You come over and we'll just start, yeah, with the little activator and we'll start gently and we'll look at all the areas where the tearing is and we'll just keep working on it. And so it ended up where he came over and he got used to it and I went over all the different areas. And when it was done, even right after the treatment, which it takes about a week for the body to truly heal, but within just that time, I spent around half an hour or so altogether, just working the whole area and amping it up, and it really it lit up.
yeah.
It was a mess to start with anyway, and so he was able to go. He still went out on his crutches. He couldn't just walk right away, and he got back to me in 1 week. I said, you know, call me back in a week. Let me know how you're doing because it's going to take that long to do the healing process. Don't rush it. Don't be discouraged. Just let it happen, you know, and don't put any exertion on it at all for that whole week. The doctor told him you couldn't use that ankle for 2 months.
Mm.
It was that severe. So anyway, he got back to me in a week. He goes, I cannot possibly believe how good this is. This is way better than I ever expected. My pain has dropped by 90%. And within 2.5 weeks, he was back in the gym fully, no problem, that
Wow.
fast. So yeah, he says, if anybody questions you about this treatment, you tell them to call me. I'll tell them verbatim because he says, I've got nothing to gain or lose. I don't make money on this. I don't do treatments. And I never charge anybody a dime for this. This is always a free thing. If I'm with somebody,
Yeah.
I'm just showing them it's
Yeah.
self-care, really. But now, next time he has any problem, he can do it himself.
Yeah.
Because now he goes, oh, okay, now I get it. I know why I'm going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do that right away. And I've seen many fresh injuries heal fast, rapidly.
Wow. So you're saying about the outer ankle is delicate because of the bone. Where I feel like I need the strengthening would be on the inner ankle joint. Could I do the activator?
Make sure, yeah, you can definitely do that. So when you do it in the area where the flesh is, you know, going into the arch of the foot,
Yeah.
you can right at that there. Anywhere you have flesh, anywhere where there's really bony, like that inner ankle bone sticking out, get on it with your hand because the meat in your hand is
We'll
going to
take
be
the impact.
in place of the meat missing on the ankle,
And
right?
what
And you
about
want
just
to
on
get
the top part? So you've got the arch, you've got, like you said, the bony joint, but then just on basically on the top of the foot, on the inner side, but where it kind of goes in from the top of the foot, just in front of the bony part of the ankle joint, just there, that part. I guess there's a bit of flesh there. Would that be all right
sure,
to do flesh, to do the
definitely.
slap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you'll know right away if you're hitting on a bone that's close to the skin surface, it'll bother you right away. That's where
Okay.
you transition from that area to the hand. Just move the activator down a little bit, but you
Yeah.
want to get after it. And the bottom of the feet is really powerful to do because you're stimulating all the way up. I have had a guy with a torn meniscus, a severely torn meniscus. Any doctor would say you're going to get an operation. There's nothing that's going to fix this. And I did one treatment on the top of his knee, and it swelled up like a loaf of bread when it was just a 5-minute treatment, because I asked him where the major pain was that he was
Yeah.
experiencing. inside the knee, but you can get access to it through the top. It totally healed that in 1 week. Now, how are you going to have a torn meniscus on
Yeah.
the inside of the knee from slapping the top of the knee, and yet it worked 100%?
Wow.
So it's all about stimulating the area because you're communicating to the whole entire area
Yeah.
when you're doing that. And yeah, I mean, he needs to go through all the rest of that, but on his own, which he did, and he was profoundly freaked out when the treatment was going on. But afterwards, he was like a massive believer of it, and he was telling everybody in Toronto. But yeah, you want to go through the whole joint as much as you can get at your foot and your ankle from all sides.
Yes.
Just go right around and then make sure you do your other ankle. Because if you have one weak ankle,
You
the
want
other
to,
ankle's
yeah.
been compensating.
Yeah.
And you don't want, and this gets the body to not get injured. So
Yes.
this is an injury prevention thing because it strengthens it so much.
Yeah. What about toes? So years ago, what triggered the ankle problem is I smashed the front toe playing football. I don't really get too much problem with that, but one of the inner toes has kind of got gnarly, kind of a bit in hammer sort of position. But it's been kind of like that. I don't really feel it, but I'm thinking, well, if I could get that repaired as well, that's been probably 10, 15 years like that.
Yeah, you slap the toes. You slap the bottom of the toes, not the top. You come in
So,
from the bottom. You
so slap the soft part. Okay. Okay.
oh, you get the activator in there. I mean, the whole bottom of the foot. The whole bottom of the foot has lots of meat. Bottom of
Okay.
the toes, bottom of the foot,
To always
the
hit the
ball of
meat because it's so close and it's the actual toe itself. It will affect the other side as well.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You could use your hand to slap the top of the foot for sure. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not going to hurt anything. But yeah, the bottom of the foot, you got to get at it. Like you really get at it. Don't mess around. Make that tool do the work because that's why that metal rod is there to give it that thwack.
Yeah.
Make it like just doom, doom, doom. Like go at it. Don't. Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart at all. This is for people who have enough courage to go, I'm going to do this, and then they build courage because every time you do a treatment, you got way more courage for the next one.
Yeah.
I'm at the stage now where I'm like, I do treatments. It doesn't matter what level of pain, swelling, bruising, it doesn't matter at all. It's like, whatever, just get it done. I'm
Right.
at that level. That took a long time to get to that level.
Wow.
But because it's always, I never liked the treatments. I've never liked the treatments. I love the results. And no one is ever going to like the treatments. And don't expect yourself to. Oh, I don't like this. I'm not going to do it. No, I don't like this. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You got to tell yourself,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Do you notice any difference between, you described a couple of really acute injuries, ones that have happened, recently with the patient, and then I've described some of the acute long-term things I've had for, decades. Do you notice any different in terms of the rate of healing return on both?
No, the rate's always the same. It's
Really?
always going to, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Because I wore out my knee for 39 years. Like it was messed up.
That's right.
And
You did.
it completely, yeah.
Wow. We've talked about this before, and my brain has gone this. So I don't know how it could be done to get in there, but I asked you a question one of the shows maybe a year or so ago about the products and whether there's a way to restore and repair and regrow teeth. I wonder if there's a way to regrow with the activator. Do you think that's possible? Any cases with that would help actually restore teeth?
No, I've never heard of such a thing. I have definitely heard of people who have had teeth regrow. I know a gentleman down in Dallas, Texas. I was actually just visiting him after the event down there. And he's made all kinds of claims that he's had people regrow the baby teeth and then the adult teeth grow in. I have not physically seen that personally where I said, oh, I know a person personally who has had their teeth regrown. I've heard many, many accounts of it. There are different minerals that you can take and different treatments you can do, but your body needs to be stimulated and then get the material to regrow the teeth. I am by no means an expert on that at all. I've just heard about it. I'm very interested in that whole idea. But yeah, no, I've never seen it actually done.
Maybe afterwards you can send me an email or something about that, the chap, if he's got any material. I'd love to look at that and be able to do that. And also, it's interesting you said about regrowing baby teeth. a lot of people, adults, it's the kind of system we've been in. Take out the wisdom teeth. I mean,
Right.
even the name on the tin, it's like, well, they're wisdom teeth. Surely you shouldn't take them out. But they know, so they like take them out. But I'm like, there must be a way. From what you're saying, if this guy knows how to regrow teeth, then I'm sure. Well, I say I'm sure. I'm hopeful that potentially you could regrow the wisdom teeth if you can regrow the baby teeth.
Right. Yeah, a lot of times people will get a wisdom tooth out because they're told they just should and they don't need to.
I had that.
Some
I had
people,
that. They told me, oh, you have to take all of them out. All right,
right,
yeah,
right. And then I had a son who went through that. They said it was going to crowd all his teeth,
yeah,
and he was scheduled for an appointment. He didn't tell me. He was 19 years old, and he never told me that he had this appointment. He just kept it hidden from me. And they were going to do the two top of the back, top of the bottom.
I was 19 when they made me take mine. I was going on a mission, and the requirement, oh, you have to do a medical, and you have to have your teeth, you have to have your wisdom teeth out. No,
Wow.
yeah,
So I asked when he was leaving at 10 o'clock in the morning to go out the door, and he didn't tell me. And back then, I mean, we were, starting our business. And I'm like, hey, where are you going? Because he always would tell me where he's going.
yeah,
He goes, well, I have an appointment. I go, appointment for what? And he said, oh, I've got a dental appointment. I said, a dental appointment? So what's going on? He goes, then he told me. I go, hold it, hold it, hold it. Come back in the house. Like he was literally going out the door. 15 minutes from that point was when the appointment was starting, and the
yeah,
dental office was like blocks away, right? Just a very short drive. I said, wisdom teeth. Okay. Because I was into the health space a little bit at that point. This was the
yeah,
beginning of my journey. And so I said, okay, so I just went online really quick. I said, wisdom teeth, natural, blah, blah, blah. And a thing came up and it said, never take your wisdom teeth out unless it's life-threatening.
yeah,
That's the rule.
yeah,
Don't think of it. So I went, okay, Anthony, I said, open your mouth. He had perfect teeth, all the way to the back, top and bottom, perfect. There was no crowding. His teeth were beautiful. He was granted a great set of teeth in his life. And I said, give me the name for the dentist. So he gave me the name. I called him up, literally like this is right before the appointment starts. And I said, how much does it cost? He said, well, it's going to be $700 a tooth, and it could be more if there's any complications for surgery. I went, okay. So I called the dental office, and I said, this is Ian Clark, and my son Anthony has an appointment to get his wisdom teeth out today, and we're canceling the appointment. They go, you can't cancel the appointment. They said, you cannot cancel this appointment. This was scheduled for a couple of months, and you cannot cancel these appointments. I said, I'm canceling the appointment. He's not
just
showing up.
watch me cancel it. Yeah, yeah,
Right. And so she said, just hold a minute. So she went and got the dentist. This is going to be a $4,000 job they're going to lose, right? So he comes up, gets on the phone, hello. And I said, this is Ian Clark, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, no, you can't cancel these appointments. These appointments are set in stone and there's no canceling. I said, well, he's not coming. Well, there's going to be a fee. There's going to be a fee if he doesn't come, you're going to have to pay a fee because we have scheduled the next 2 hours for this procedure. And that's how much time we have. And you can't, that's why you can't cancel. I said, how much is the fee? He goes, just a minute. And he put his girl back on the thing. She comes on and she goes, well, it's going to be $250 if you cancel. I went, perfect. You want my Visa card?
mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah. And that was it. And he still has his wisdom teeth. His teeth are perfect. There's no issue at all.
Good for you. I'd love
And
to.
he's
Yeah,
like,
if you wouldn't mind Ian putting me in touch with that, your friend or some info on that,
I
I'd
will.
love to know because
Mhm.
I know that's a piece to the puzzle that needs to be restored as well. So yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll connect you guys up.
Thank you. Well, as always, it's amazing, but that was really profound. I can feel. I mean, I haven't gone full hog, but I can feel it, and I'm like, okay. And the things you've described, I'm going to get on the feet. I'm going to, yeah. I want to, yeah, just go through the wall, go through the, go through the uncomfort, the discomfort to get to the result. And
Right.
thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Yes. On the liver side, your right arm is your liver. I've had people, I've never seen this with the heart and lungs yet, but on the liver specifically, where people have done the treatment on their right elbow,
Yeah.
and within a few minutes afterwards, a big black mark comes up right where their liver is.
Really?
And you don't even touch that. You're only doing the meridian. And they're like, what's going on? What's with the mark, right? And they would take pictures of it with their phone on the mirror and send them to me. And I go, oh, no problem. Just wait that'll be gone in half an hour. And half an hour
Wow.
later, it just drains right up. But
It's,
that's the
it's
level to
interesting
be
that
looking at.
you said that about it, because I did see something years ago, and I don't know what they call it. Was it reverse or mirror pain? Something about someone did something on one part of the body, but they felt the effect on the other. But even just doing that, tapping here on this side, it's gone now. And it wasn't even severe, but I did feel some kind of stimulation on this part of the arm. I don't know why, but it's now gone. But I noticed it about 7 or 8 minutes ago while we were talking, and it's dissipated.
Mhm. Hey, here's one picture. It's a little bit above. It's right at the top of the tip of the liver. You see that one? Can you see
Just
that?
raise it a little higher, Ian. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah,
See, it's a woman who has like a tank top on, and she just
yeah,
pulled it down far enough so you
yeah,
can
yeah.
see that's her back on the side. Yeah, and so that was one of them. But yeah, it's it's an interesting phenomenon. Our bodies are phenomenally connected and communicating continuously.
Yeah.
So when people talk about classical Chinese medicine and meridians, definitely pay attention because they are real. Just like every tooth has a meridian that goes to a certain organ
They're
in the body.
circuits, aren't they? The teeth are circuits,
They are.
switches in the body. And that's why they
Yeah.
took wisdom teeth. Oh, yeah, we're going to take them out. That was the Mormon church that people know that I used to go. I was brought up, and I went on a mission, and I loved the experience of the mission, but the requirement was you had to have your teeth out. And then from then
Wow.
on, I might have had some fillings before, but yeah, they took them all out. And then very shortly after that, I had other fillings I had to, and I've not had fillings for years because I'm just kind of like, no, just, but um, yeah, regrow the teeth. Yeah, one
Yep,
step in the right direction for sure.
for sure. Yeah. You can definitely
Brilliant.
repair cavities as well, naturally repair cavities by mineralizing and
Yeah.
yeah, that soft pulp can get eaten out by bacteria. We could do a whole call on dental hygiene. I've learned so much about it.
Wow. So it's beautifully made, the activator. There's the nice kind of ball bearing at the end of the handle. Is that a deliberate, or just a function that's been put in, or is there a particular?
That's just an added bonus just to kind of soothe the areas. You can kind of roll that around before you do the treatment as well.
Ah, okay, I got, yeah, yeah, okay, I got you. And then, well, it smells nice. What's the rubber, the material that it's made from? The
Well, it's like
slab.
silicone and PVC to
Okay,
last forever. It's designed to last forever.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. There's no
Activator
off gassing.
parts. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, there's no off gassing or anything like that. You're not going to have any release of any nasties from that.
Good. Wow. I got my magic stick, my activator. There you go.
Yeah.
So brilliant. Thanks, Ian. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure today. So thank you very much for you coming on and for your time, and thank you for the products. And I'm gonna activate my feet into even better, because they're improving with the things I'm doing, but I know there's more to be done. So um, the links will be below. Anything in particular before we wrap up that you'd like to point out to people or encourage them to go to?
No, no, I think you covered it basically. We've always got some specials going on. This launch, we'll make sure you get the details on that soon.
Okay.
We're just getting the final touches on that and making sure people have great opportunity to save some, money as well in these
Yeah.
launches to incentivize them and really just, be encouraged to take responsibility for your health.
Yeah.
Really step up to the plate and rise above all the noise, all the confusion of this world that's put upon people, all the social conditioning. Always question everything
Yes.
and just find the truth as much as you can.
Keep questioning. One thing that before we go, Ian, you were saying about people do the slapping on the head, and that's helped their brain function and everything else. Have you noticed with the activation, the act of doing the activation, has it helped with hair thickening? Because I'm not as bushy as I used to be, but I'm wondering if, and
Yeah.
you've got a great head of hair, has that helped, or is it mainly through just nutrition, or both, or can the activator help stimulate follicles to grow
Well,
again?
there's a whole bunch of stimulations you can do for hair growth, but I have never actually, it's a good question because I've never applied that or suggested to a male that they could go male pattern baldness and do all those areas that were the follicles. I'm sure that it would help,
Okay.
but you would use your hands on that.
Okay.
But traditionally it's like minimum 5 minutes. With the hands, it's 10 minutes.
Okay.
Like I never had the activator before. I just had my hands and until I got the first 6 months it was just hands only.
Yeah.
And so I have to go 10 minutes. So you just be patient and just take some time. And I don't know, that'd be a great experiment, actually. We should suggest that and get people to give it a try because it doesn't cost anything, just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to help with the brain function majorly. And whether it's going to cause that hair to start regrowing or get follicles re-stimulated is a very good possibility. But I've never heard of anybody doing it yet, or heard any results of that yet. So
And would
let's
you
try
would
it
you
out.
ever do the activator just gently on the head, or do you think it would just stay away from the head?
Yeah, because the skull's right there. It would be irritating. Because
Okay.
yeah, definitely for all the Alzheimer's dementia patients who did that,
Yeah.
it was just strictly hands. And and,
Okay.
and you're kind of you're not like whacking it like that. It's kind of more like beating a drum, you
Yeah.
know? It's like that. They use both hands at the same time on the top of the head,
Yeah.
like not like this, but like alternating like that.
Pattern. Okay. And also just a bit lower down, so the neck. There's fleshy parts of the neck and there's a bony part of the neck. Could you do just for neck stiffness? Could you use the activator to get that fully function, fully range again?
Absolutely profound. Okay. So when you can use the activator right on any of the fleshy parts, the base of the skull has that ridge, you would use your hand on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. The neck, I have seen crazy stuff with the neck. I had a 55-year-old woman who had a whiplash car accident when she was 17. She had, this is going back to 2000, early 2018, before I had the activator.
Yeah.
And she'd had like so much pain, very wealthy family. They had all the money in the world to spend on all kinds of treatments. She'd been trying everything for all those years. And it was just getting worse and worse. And so I did with my hand. She could only handle 4 minutes with my hand. It needed to be 10 minutes. 4 minutes, and all this bubbly, purpley stuff came out. It was so gross. And I did both sides, just the back on the each side, right? And all the stuff came out. I've got pictures of it. And a week later, she called me up. She goes, "I am so thankful. 80% of the pain is gone." And I had shown her sister, because her and her sister were there. Her sister was like 61 years old. And I said, get your sister to do it again, because you got to wait till it all drains and it's gone.
Yeah.
And she phoned me back a week later because her sister was able to do 10 minutes on each side at that point because most of the stuff was gone, but she got the remaining stuff out. Week after that, she phoned me. She goes, "All my pain is completely gone. I'm done." Like I had, like, what is that? Age 17 to 55,
Wow.
right? Like 38 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's profound. It's wow. And would you ever, so I know you said about you did it here and then you do it over here and then you do the backs to get the organs going. But would it be too early for me to do stuff on the feet tonight, or should I just do all the organs
No,
and then work up
no,
to it?
no. In one day, you can do elbows and knees and feet all in one day.
Okay.
Yeah, no
And
problem
with
at
the
all.
feet, would I be able to walk the next day on it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. The feet are not going to swell up and bruise.
Okay.
It'll light them up. You'll totally be able to walk around. It's not going to incapacitate you at all. Even when I did my knee, I could walk around normally, no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
And now one thing I didn't mention, which is important, get some warm water with a little bit of good quality salt in it and drink it before and after the treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, it just helps to keep things flushing and moving. You
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
your body's going to be using more fluids suddenly.
One thing I've been doing, I've had it before, but I got it back and got it out of storage and been using it, and I find benefit from it is rebounding. So just trampolining, just for lymph movement. I guess I'm assuming that would help in conjunction with this.
It does. It does. Now, I don't bother with I did all the rebounder stuff for years and years.
Yeah,
Total pain in the butt. You got to drag it out. It takes space in the house. You can't take it with you when you travel.
yeah,
I don't find, I mean, they're super beneficial. I
yeah.
don't find any need for a rebounder anymore. Why? Because I have an invisible skipping rope. And my invisible skipping rope, I use it once a day minimum. And it doesn't get caught on anything. It doesn't trip on your feet. You're literally skipping for real using an invisible rope. You can imagine it's there. You can see it there. You can feel it there, but it's not there. And you're jumping up and down and you're skipping. I do 150 skips at a session. It only takes a minute and a half.
Wow.
That super stimulates your far more than a rebounder because the rebounder is more softer up and down,
Yeah.
right? Whereas this is you controlling a much higher vibration more often, more frequently, going up and down, up and down, up and down. So just get your invisible skipping rope up, minimum once a day, more if you can, if you have the time. But it's only a minute and a half,
Wow.
150 skips. Check it out, and you'll see right away it's
I
amazing.
like that.
And you don't have to buy a rebounder.
I've got the rebounder in one of the rooms, and I enjoy it. But I know what you mean because you have to. I thankfully have it out, so I just kind of focus that room just with the reach, so I can do it. But I know what you're saying. People moving it in and out. But the skip I used to have with leather skipping rope when I was young. I used to love that. But what you've just described is like Wonder Woman with her invisible lasso. So wow,
That's
okay.
right.
And
Way better
Wonder Woman,
because
there's one. Go on.
I can fit my invisible skipping rope in my pocket. It just goes right inside my pocket. And I can't ever forget it either.
Yeah, and even if you can get another one, get another one. That's fantastic. I like that. Wow. And Wonder Woman is 145 in numbers, numerology 145. So it's a nice way to end. Ian, it's been really
Fantastic.
amazing. It's been really incredible. So thank you. I'm gonna slap myself into Superman mode. So yeah,
All right. Very
yeah,
good. Yeah, thank you, Tom. It's been a pleasure.
brilliant. Thanks, Ian. And yeah, that information, your guy connecting him with about the teeth will be fantastic. I'd love that. And I will see you soon.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Ian. God bless. Take care. Bye.